Episode 3. Now, episode 3 was basically when we start seeing Yeshua come into his ministry. So we are going to the water turned to wine in Galilee. Remember, he went to the wedding, the water was turned to wine. And then in this episode also talked about the visitor from for the Passover. So it is important to understand that in Galilee at that wedding, those pots that they had, those water pots that they had for um, was for the Pharisees and for the rituals that they would use. They would use that to wash themselves before going to the temple. They have specific reasons that they was using that according to to their commandments and to their reasoning. So before eating, they also was washing themselves and before going to the temple and all other special times, which was not according to the Torah, some things that again that they had added in. And so that's the water that Yeshua turned to wine. Now we're going to read John 2, verses 19 through 22. I want to read this because this is the one time that Yeshua speaks of his death and resurrection to the people. Yeshua answered them, destroy this temple in 3 days, and I will rise it up. The Jews then said, it took 46 years to build this temple, and yet you will raise it up in 3 days. But he was speaking about the temple of his body. So when he was raised from the dead, his disciples remembered that he said this, and they believed the scripture and the word which Yeshua has spoken. That's the one time he explained to them that he was going to resurrect in 3 days. And then we have Yeshua, who is having a discussion with Nicodemus about the born again experience. Now, before that born again experience came, of course, during the Passover time, um, we was reading that it was a Passover for the Jews, and we all know that the Passover, all the feasts, all of them belong to Jehovah, and none of them belong to the Jews. It belonged to all believers. It's important to understand that, and I believe you will find that in the book of Numbers, all through the Torah. You actually will find that. So, and then before the Passover, you had Yeshua turn over the tables in the temple court. Now, some people get it confused, think he's actually in the temple. And we know that he is not actually in the temple because he is not a Levite. He is not one of the priests. So he's not allowed in the temple. So he was in the temple court. So one of the things that Herod, and from episode 1, that Herod did was he built this lavish temple, and it has so many different courts in there, the courts for the women, courts for the men, and courts for the Gentiles. So that was the work that King Herod did. And it's also, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure I spoke of this in episode 1. Evidently I need to go back to that. But that Herod, it's important to understand who Herod was in that bloodline. Herod did not belong to as king over Jehovah's people because he was from the tribe of Esau. So just go back over episode 1 and you will learn more about that. So we can go back into the night of Passover, where, well, Passover is the meal, and then you have unleavened bread. It's the time that you eat the Passover meal. So it's doing unleavened bread, and it's nighttime. And then we have Nicodemus, who comes and talk to Yeshua. And Yeshua expected Nicodemus to know about the born again experience because he said, you are a teacher of, you are a leader of the people, but you do not understand this. So he expected Nicodemus to know about the born again experience, and that's because the born again experience is found in the book Ezekiel. And I'm going to read that. It's Ezekiel chapter 36, verses 25 through 27. Then I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will be clean. I will cleanse you from all your filthiness, from all your idols. Moreover, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you, and I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh and give you the heart of flesh. And I will put my Spirit within you and bring it about that you will walk in my statutes and be careful and follow my ordinance. And you will find that again in Ezekiel. And so, what people don't understand, I think get confused, is what this clean water is. Most people think it's the water of baptism, but no. Even Paul kind of helped you understand this. The washing of the water is the word. And of course, Paul misses that in Ephesians 2, but that's the word that cleanses you, the word that cleanses you